Hello guys, myself Anurag. Today we are going to learn about the various labor law in India. Okay, this comes under the unit number 3 of construction management as per SPPU syllabus of civil engineering for final year. Indian labor laws refers to law regulating labor in India. Okay, so what are the labors? Labor is a person who do the work at actual ground level. Indian labor law is closely connected to the Indian independent movement and the campaigns of passive resistance leading up to the independence. While India was under colonial rule of the British Raj, labor rights, trade unions, and freedom of association were all regulated by the Indian Slavery Act, Societies Registration Acts, Cooperative Society Acts, and whatnot. Okay. Industrial legalizations are the laws enacted by the government to provide the economic and social justice to the worker. Labor law is a body of laws, regulation, administrative rulings, and precedents which address the legal rights of and restrictions on laborers and organizations. Okay, this is the introduction part. But why the labor laws are required in India? As we all know that the exploitation is well common in India long before the British came in India. There were many reasons. Yeah. Now, the need or the importance of labor law are as following. Yeah. Improves industrial relation, that is employee-employee relation, and minimize industrial dispute, that is in common sense, to decrease the disputes between the owner and employer. Okay. Second, the prospects workers from exploitation by the employers of the management. Exploitation can be in form like underwage or carrying out the heavy works by a single worker. Yeah. Overtiming can be a sort of exploitation. Hmm. So third one is the help workers in getting fair wages. That is, he should get the wage as per his education and the amount of or quantum of work he is going to do. Minimize labor unrest. That is, dispute or emotional fatigue should be reduced among the laborers. Reduce conflicts and strikes. Ensure job security for worker. This 6 point is important because nowadays many companies or industries are giving or employing the contract workers on the contract basis. So once the contract is over, they just throw away the workers. So there is a lot of issues regarding job securities. Next one is the promotes welcome environment condition in the industrial system. This is important so as to encourage the worker to do the work with best possible manner. Okay, with best possible outcome, with best possible product. Okay. Next one is fixed rest pauses and work hours. That is, a worker should not work continuously for many hours, which may lead to fatigue or, in rare cases, the rate of the employee. There should be proper, what to say, shifts of the work from 6 hours to 8 hours, depending on the labor required in the work. Next one is provide compensation to workers who are victim of accidents. This is important nowadays. So we can see that due to many reasons like not availability of PPE, that is personal protective equipments, or hazardous condition at this site, there might be accidents in the of the worker. So after that accident, the worker should get the proper compensation. Okay, and the last one is prevent child labor. Okay, as we are doing civil engineering, we all know that in many cases we see the child being employed at the site, and that child is of many times is the child of worker who is actually working at that site also. Okay? So this should be avoided. Okay? We will learn more about the child labor law in the next video. Now, while doing also, there are number of different laws or acts published by the Indian government from the time of independence. Some of them are as follows. Okay, the Factory Act. The Factory Act. It was enacted to provide for the safety, health, and welfare of the worker. The Workmen's Compensation Act. It offers financial benefit in case the workers were injured in the course of working hours. The Trade Union Act was meant to facilitate the formation and registration of trade unions for the purpose of protecting the right of the working class. The Payment of Wages Act, to ensure the employees' rights are protected in case employers deny them their wages or made unauthorized deductions. The Employment of Children Act prohibited the employment of children below the age of 14, which contains hazardous traits. The Employment Insurance Act, it is of 1948, and it provides health insurance schemes for the industrial workers. The Employees Provident Fund Act 1952, it is meant to provide family pensions and retain the benefits to the employees. The Payment of Gratuity Act, it was published in 1972 and was meant to provide the gratuity to workers who have served at least 5 years in the establishment. This was to be paid on the retirement, okay, the or resignation or death of the employee. Maternity Benefit Act 1961, the Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act, the Bonded Labor Act, it is a abolition system now, and the last one is Equal Remuneration Act. Okay. Now, as we heard the term called industrial legalization, what are the principles of industrial legalization? These are social justice, social equality or social welfare, national economy, and the last one is international uniformity. The first step in establishing social justice is to protect those who can't protect themselves. Industrial law provides social justice to the workers by ensuring suitable distribution of profits and benefits upon the employer and employees. It is also provide better working conditions in industry. Another objective of labor law is to ensure social welfare of the workers. This law helps the employer to improve their social status, that is, material and moral of the worker, by providing adequate wages and safety measures, ensuring the appropriate working hours and health facilities. Yeah? That is, the worker should not work in a tremendous manner. He should not be overworked. He should not be overemployed. But the benefits of the work he do should be in proper manner. That he should get adequate wages. Yeah? The national economy is another guiding principle of labor legislation. It ensures normal growth of industry for the development of nation. It increases the efficiency of workers and satisfies their needs. Thus, efficient industry finally contributes a lot to the improved national economy. The last one is international uniformity. In attaining international uniformity, International Labour Organization, that is ILO, has played an important role. It aims at securing minimum standard on uniform basis in respect of all labor materials. Uniformity of standards can be maintained only by enforcing various industrial laws. Okay. Now, there are many laws which are published or has been updated in the India since the first Indian labor law was Industrial Dispute Act of 1947. Since then, an additional 45 national laws expand or intersect with the 1948 Act, and other 200 state laws control the relation between the worker and the company. These laws manage all aspects of employer-employee interaction, such as companies must keep 6 attendance law, 10 different accounts for the overtime wages, and file 5 times of annual returns. Which these are some different things of the laws, but which get changed from time to time. So this is all now for the today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will going to see the different law such as Workmen's Compensation Act and Child Labor Act. Okay. Thank you and have a nice day.